Hello, my name is Justinas Janulevicius, and today I would like to talk about how an information security management system can serve as a digital compass for enhanced security for your organization. This is a part of knowledge about digitalization and why it's important. Stefani Napo, who is the global CISO of year 2018, once said that it takes 20 years to build a reputation and a few minutes of cyber incident to ruin it. What it means is that if we don't have proper information security management within our organization, no matter how good our product and reputation is, it can be ruined in just minutes or seconds. That is why we need a very structured approach on how to ensure this information security within the organization. Before we begin, I would like to discuss a few things with you which are really important when we are talking about information security and its management. So, the first thing is that there is no such thing as absolute security. We have to agree on that no matter how much you invest in your information security, no matter how well you think you're educated there is not a chance that you can be absolutely calm and in peace knowing that nothing is going to happen to your organization information security wise because it's an ever evolving topic and the systems are very complex. So every time there are new threats and vulnerabilities arising that might be exploited by the threat agents or uh, hackers, as you may call them. Now, from this comes another thing that is important to say that striving for this security is a continuous process. So that means that if we implement something for the security of information, it doesn't mean that from that moment on, we can be peaceful and not try anymore, just stop trying there. So we all always need to invest in information security. And by saying invest, I'm not only talking about money that we're investing, but the effort and the diligence that we are investing in the security process. And now, when we're doing that, when we are implementing the information security, we usually are talking about reduced functionality and usability of our systems due to these security requirements and their implementation. That is why information security management is a process which requires balancing between the usability and the security of these systems. Once we have established this framework or this uh, foundation for our discussion, I would like to start with a few statistics. So in 2022, there have been 236 million registered attacks uh, in for information systems of organizations, with the average loss of an organization of $17,000, meaning that if you are exposed, and you are exposed if you have any information assets to those threats, you can experience very high losses. Now, when we are talking about what we are protecting, it is important from which aspects we are looking at this protection. So there are three main information characteristics that are classically considered to be the triad of information security. They're usually called CIA triad for the first letters of their names. First one is confidentiality, meaning that only those people who have access rights or are authorized can see the information. Then we have integrity, meaning that the information remains to be complete and not corrupted. And then we have availability, meaning that when it needs to be reached, it can be reached. Now, the question might be, why do we need an ISMS or information security management system? So the main reason and the main task of such system is to protect your organization against malicious or misguided attacks, by providing a very structural approach of organizational and technical means that help ensure the information security. Information security management system can be considered to be a set of policies and procedures for systematically managing an organization's sensitive data. Now, a little bit of more information for context. What is the difference between data and information? Data is facts without context, so it can be numbers, it can be sequences, it can be letters, it can be anything. But once you label those entries of data and once you are able to interpret them, let's say if I say it's 15 is data. Now, if we look at a category, if we provide a category for that and we say like years, now it becomes information because we can use it with context and we can interpret it correctly. So the main activities of such information security management systems are establishing the information security policy, defining the scope of this ISMS, now conducting risk assessment, performing risk management, selecting the right controls to implement to ensure that the vulnerabilities that have been found in the systems can be controlled to a level that is acceptable for the organization, establish the statement of applicability. So, once we go into more detail, we can see that the main document and the main controlling or orchestrating document for an information security management system is the information security policy, which has the main purpose of defining what top management wants to achieve with its security measures. It is a very general nature document that might lead to other documents which are of less generality and they provide clear processes and procedures, but this document is needed to serve as a link between the company's top management, meaning shareholders, CEOs, and etc., and linking their understanding and effort to implementation of this information security management system. Defining the scope of such information security management system covers the location of the information security audit, including functions involved in the audit, as well as the personnel and assets involved. That is the main document that helps define how broad we want to go with this information security management system. And what is important to understand is that you can either implement the system organization-wise throughout all of your systems, throughout all of your staff, or it can be done in parts of your organization or information systems where it is very needed. For example, if you have several tracks for the company and one of them is dealing with sensitive information and another one is just providing services that have nothing to do with your information, it would make sense to separate them, and one of them should be run under the information security management system. Another one can be not done with the ISMS. Now, when we go further, we reach the risk assessment, which is an essential part of an ISMS because the ISMS calibration is based on these risk assessment results. So to do so, we need to establish the asset register. So we need to know all of our information assets, including hardware, software, people, meaning human resources, links and contracts with external service providers, and etc. Now, once we have that, we can assess the risks that are facing these assets. After we have performed this risk assessment, we can establish a plan how to manage these risks that have risen from the risk assessment process. The first part to do is when managing risk is to have owners set for these assets, meaning that once we have an asset, the asset should have an owner, which becomes also responsible for managing the risks that are associated to this asset. Then, according to this owner and to the work groups that are related to this asset, uh, there are security controls to be implemented. They can be discussed within those groups and then presented to the top management and to the risk management teams uh, to ensure that these assets are properly secured. The statement of applicability is sounds similar to the scope of the ISMS. However, it's a little bit of a different kind of a document that needs to also be established. And the statement of applicability is a document that states which parts of the ISMS, of a standard ISMS, shall be implemented. If we go a little bit deeper into the structure of an information security management system, we'd see that there are several certain domains that are within the system. And not all of these domains might be applicable to the organization because of the type of the activities that organization is running on. And now we have reached the part where I would like to introduce an international standard of ISO 27001, which is one of the most popular, I would say the most popular standard to go for when we are implementing ISMS around the world. So in this standard, we have 14 main domains that define the information security management system. And depending on the statement of applicability, you can select all of these domains or exclude some parts of this standard. The good thing about this standard is also that if the organization complies with the requirements of the standard, it can be certified and get a certification of compliance, which sometimes plays a major role for businesses as also being an asset and a value added to the company. There are, of course, other frameworks that define information security systems, including CIS controls, which is a little bit more related to controls than the whole system. Then we have a COBIT developed by ISACA, and then we have CSA security, trust, and assurance registry. So let's quickly go through the domains of the ISO 27001. First, we have the context of the organization, meaning that we define the field in which the organization is working, the specifics, the external parties that the organization is working with, the employees that are working for the organization and their qualification. Then we have leadership, meaning the top management and their attitude towards information security management. Then we have planning, support, operation, which is the largest section. Then we have performance evaluation, improvement, risk assessment, security policy, organization of information security, asset management, access control, cryptography, and physical and environmental security. Depending on the organization's needs, you might, as mentioned before, select all of these domains or exclude some of them if they are not required by your business model. So to sum up, I would like to say that implementing an information security management system is not a scary process. It helps a lot for the organization, and it is part of the digitalization, and unavoidably, it is a very necessary part for digitalization, ensuring that the security needs are met and the organization is not vulnerable for cyber attacks. Thank you.